Be Nimble is really focused on generational wealth, specifically for the Black community. We look at tech as the way we get there. And so we provide workforce development opportunities as well as entrepreneurship support, specifically for Black and brown founders.
We realize that there's an opportunity to translate and articulate the importance and the power of jobs of the future, workplace development, and entrepreneurship. So we spend a lot of time bringing that message fully and meeting the communities in which we want to serve where they are through social community initiatives and events that help us tell the story and gravitate and create magnetism back towards increasing our pipeline of folks who are going to consider those paths.
The evolution of our programs is kind of shifted. So our pitch program started specifically for tech-focused companies. So it could have been people with software, apps, etc. One of the things that's really popular in Indiana with tech is what's called B2B SaaS. So it's kind of vertical software as a service. It's a product that businesses buy to support a function in their business. But when you actually look at the numbers of entrepreneurs in tech, especially people of color, a lot of them are building consumer-focused companies, and there's not a lot of venture capitalists that invest in that space. And so that's where we started to see the gap in where we could provide more value to entrepreneurs. So over time, that turned into what's now Melon Kitchen, which is our food-focused accelerator, and then Add to Cart, which is our e-commerce and beauty, health, and wellness accelerator. I call it the pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic life. I don't think people saw the value in focusing on tech with people of color specifically. And so I think post-pandemic, it was much easier to sell the value of what we were doing because it made sense because of where we were with society. And this is not a happy thing to share, but like as we were watching businesses fail, we were watching our businesses grow and thrive. And I think being able to share that narrative because they're digital first and because they were tech first, they were able to be a lot more nimble. It happens every time, sorry, I can't help it. They were able to be nimble and make it work. Melon was a very unique program. I don't think it's anything like has been seen before. And I think when we started it, I don't think there were any programs like it. And so it's called the Social Innovation Fund. So I figured we'd have a shot.
Oh my gosh, the Social Innovation Fund grant was a turning point in our organization. It brings me joy to talk about it. United Way was the first significant grant that we received from the Central Indiana region. And nothing ever is gonna top your first. Look, the story for us really did not change. So when we got that grant, what changed was that cosign, our partnerships and the folks that we were able to now have conversations with because United Way said that this is something that they wanted to invest in.
I'm always like a little thrown off by our ideas because they sometimes feel so off the wall and so different, and they're hard for people to get sometimes. But I think that's what social innovation's about, right? Like it's the stuff that just feels like you can't touch it or feels esoteric or you've not seen it before, but it sounds like it could work. So let's give it a shot. It's how tech works. It's how technology companies are built. They're built on a really great idea and then someone saying, I believe in you enough to try to build it. And even if it fails, like, let's just try it again. But to have that someone to invest in us to launch something that we just thought was a great idea was the most impactful thing that's happened to our organization.
The seed was a vision and a party, and it being 250 plus people that showed up to now thousands showing up to our events, us being able to provide hundreds of thousands of dollars in direct capital into founders' hands, to helping hundreds receive jobs, to our first cohort of Melon participants opening up their brick and mortar. There are so many different ways to show our growth, but I think the growth from point 1 to point 6 or 7 or wherever we are in this journey today is really in the amount of capital that we've been able to cascade out and the impact that it has had on the lives of those that have been in our orbit and what they've been able to actually do and the community and the folks that they've been able to affect too.